UFC Fight Night, Ribas versus Namajunas. We're gonna break down this card. I'm gonna tell you which fighters I like. I'm not gonna go over all the fights. I'm just gonna go over the fights where I think I have a good idea on who's gonna win, how, and why. With that being said, before we do that, I wanted to do something else. Maybe just share with you the bets I've taken in the last card. Be sure to let me know in the comments if that's something you would like me to keep doing. So last card, these are the bets I've taken. Like you can see, I had two bets that I cashed out on just because I wasn't really sure. I did then bet on them afterwards because I changed my mind. First was Chelsea Chandler. I put my money on her, then I cashed out. And Christian Rodriguez, I put my money on him, then I cashed out. Then I put my money, a bit of money on Amarim, Jacqueline. I just, I felt she has the better jiu-jitsu, and I did tell it in the last breakdown. She managed to submit McKenna Corey in the first round, which is very nice. The second bet I've made is on Danny Silva. I said in my breakdown that I'm going to pick Holobaugh, but I ended up putting some money on Silva. I felt that as the dog, he definitely had more value. Also, the line got wider, and he did win, which is very nice. He was, he had the better wrestling, that's for sure, more control. But he was a bit low volume, which I didn't like, but thank God he won. Next bet I put on Jafel. He just did a masterclass. I really liked the way he was striking as well. He's mostly he's known for his jiu-jitsu, but he showed that he improves his striking as well. Very impressed by him. Chandler Chelsea, I cashed out at the beginning, but then I put my money again on her. And thank God I did, because I knew that Nunes is gonna get exposed. She's not that good. She has no jiu-jitsu, she has no wrestling defense, and Chandler in the first and the second round, the wrestling is what gave her the win. She was the better wrestler, she was heavier, and we got her as the underdog. I made a small bet on Barberena. I think it was in the second round. It looked like Mearshart had problems taking him down. I ended up losing because Mearshart submitted him. So this is funny. I wanted to put first the money on Rodriguez, but then I ended up putting it on Bulgarian, and I cashed out in the second round because Bulgarian looked exhausted. I knew for sure that Rodriguez can probably finish him. I tried to put some money on Rodriguez live. I couldn't. But to be honest, I feel like Bulgarian was robbed just because there's no way in hell he won that. There's no way in hell that Christian Rodriguez won that second round. It is what it is. I'm happy I cashed out and didn't lose it all. I had a parlay here. The parlay didn't go because of Kennedy and Zichiku. I'm sure he busted many parlays. Terrible performance. He was just throwing that jab and trying to show us he has good head movement, but he looked terrible. And I'm not gonna pick him again for sure. I did cash out on Brian Battle before his fight against Angelusa, and I got the line move, so I had a bit of a win here. To be honest, I should have won Battle Brian in all of those fights, but it got voided because Angelusa is a pussy and decided to fake an eye injury. With that being said, I still got the wins for Jafel, for Thiago Moises. Here I got for Moises, for Jafel, and Macy Chiasson. I would have won much more if Lusa wasn't a pussy, but it is what it is. Overall, it was a good card with profit. And that's it, guys. Let me know in the comments if you want me to keep doing these breakdowns on the bets I took. With that being said, let's go and move on to the card coming up on Saturday. There's a few spots here that I really like. And I'm gonna start with the first fight. We got Muhammad Usman and Mick Parkin. I like Parkin here. The reason I like Parkin is I wasn't impressed by Usman's performance in any of his fights. He couldn't finish Collier. He couldn't finish Tafa. He did finish Pauga, but Mick Parkin is better than all of those. He has decent wrestling. He has good striking. He outstruck Jamal Pogues, who has really good striking. Caio Machado, that fight was super weird. I didn't like Mick Parkin's performance in that fight. I hope he learned from it, but I just don't see where Usman's gonna win. Mick Parkin is much bigger. He trains with Tom Aspinall. I just feel like he's gonna expose Usman. He's probably gonna win. I say decision or knockout, ground and pound. With that being said, I'm picking Parkin to win. Next fight we got Igor Serevino and Andre Lima, and I'm kinda asking myself what I should do here. I really like Serevino. Like, his performance on Contender was just what I like in a fighter. He's durable, he's smart, he's aggressive. But the thing is, Andre Lima have shown the same characteristics. He has also a lot of, I would say he has a lot of experience as a striker, like his kickboxing and Muay Thai. He did lose in his amateur bout in 2020. And he had losses in his career in Muay Thai. I like the value on Serevino. You get him at plus 150. And I feel like he's more aggressive than Andre Lima. And he can utilize that aggressiveness to win. Because in the third round, in his fight against Zenedine, it felt like when Zenedine actually started pushing in the third round, he was a bit, like, I wouldn't say he had no answers, because he ended up taking him down and ground and pounding him. But I just think that Serevino is going to be much stronger physically compared to Zenedine, and that's going to help him with taking down Andre Lima, because he didn't want, like in the first round when he took down and was taking down Zenedine, he didn't want to stay there. Serevino is much stronger physically. I think he can win by ground and pound or by decision. And I'm going to pick Serevino. I might do a live bet here just to see how they do in the first round, because Serevino really starts fighting in the second round. It feels like the first round is more him filling the opponent, and then second round he just goes all in. He also is coming from Chuta Box, which is obviously a really good gym. So I'm going to pick Serevino to win by knockout or decision. Next fight, we got Montserrat, Rendon, and Darya. I don't really have that much of an opinion here. I think that Darya can win. Montserrat, she only went to decision wins in her career. She's big, but also Darya 5'9" and 5'8". I think Darya is gonna win. She's She's more aggressive. She has more knockouts. But it's a very hard fight to pick. I'm not gonna do any bet here. I would like the over. I think the over is live here just because Rendon was never finished. All our wins are by decision. So she's probably gonna be more careful, and that's gonna bring us to over 2.5. Next fight we got Steve Nguyen and Errens. I wasn't really impressed by his performance in Contender. He did win in the second round by knockout, but I think that Jarno can win here. He did lose both of his fights in the UFC, but he fought good competition. Like William Gomez didn't lose in the UFC. Sung Woo Choi is also a very good striker and decent opponent. And they bring really good strikers from the Netherlands. And I just think that you get him here as an underdog. The value is on him. He's also the younger fighter. He's the same size, but he's going to be more physical. Yeah, give me Jarno to win by knockout or decision. Also, Steve Nguyen was knocked out in the past. Jarno was never knocked out. I like that. Give me Jarno to win here. You get him in good value. Next fight we got Miles Jones and Cody Gibson. Miles Jones looked really good in his last fight against Dan Argueta, but what happened is he took some drugs and that came out as a no contest. And Cody Gibson, he had a really good performance to get against Brett Katona. The thing is, he's 36 years old. He's a dog. He's a real dog. I don't see him winning against Miles Jones. I think Miles Jones' striking and wrestling defense is gonna be too much for Cody. The only thing I'm worried about is Jones. He's coming here short notice, and also I don't know what kind of recovery and stamina is gonna bring. So this is a stay away from me, but I'm gonna pick Miles Jones to win. Ricardo Ramos and Julian Erosa. This is an interesting fight. In his last fight against Charles Jourdain, Ricardo Ramos didn't really show that he has low IQ as a fighter. Apologies. He won against fucking Bill Algeo, which I'm really impressed by Algeo, and he won against him. But you can't do those mistakes with Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa is an elite submission artist, and he can find the submission here if Ricardo Ramos is gonna act the same like he did against Charles Jourdain. And this is a risk I cannot take. I'm not gonna pick him. Like, I'm not gonna bet on this fight. I want to hope that Ricardo have learned from his mistake and he can win, just because Julian Erosa has no chin. I'm not gonna bet this fight, but I'm picking Ricardo to win. And yeah, that's the pick. Next fight we got Trey Ogden and Court Holobaugh. Trey Ogden, he had a good fight against Nicolas Mota. He was supposed to win. It was a premature stoppage. He was choking Mota out. The thing about Holobaugh is he won't be able to choke Holobaugh. His jiu-jitsu is really good. He won against Austin Hubbard submission. He also had he lost to Moises. He lost to Shane Burgos, but that was a long time ago, 4 years ago. I'm gonna pick Holobaugh, I just think that he had the better competition overall. And Ogden is a very conservative fighter. Like, he's not really taking risks with his striking. And if it gets to the ground, I think Holobaugh is going to have the advantage. I'm going to pick Holobaugh to win. Probably by decision or submission. But I also like the over here just because Trey Ogden is, he's super careful in his fights. And he has decent submission skills as well. He might be able to survive with Holobaugh. Next fight, we got Luis Pajuelo and Fernando Padilla. I really liked Luis' performance in Contender Series. Like, he just destroyed that Robbie Ring guy who came 6-0, but you really can't count on those regional scene fighter records. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna pick Fernando to win. I feel he's the better striker. He had the better competition. He's a smart fighter. He was never knocked out. It's gonna be a dogfight for sure. I really like the Peruvian fighters, and it's funny. He's getting picked more here in Topology. It's gonna be a hard fight, but I'm gonna give it to Fernando. I think he's gonna win here. He's gonna be the more technical striker. Luis can go a bit wild and leave some openings that Fernando will take advantage on. So I'm gonna pick Fernando. Next fight, we got Billy Quarantello and Joseph Zalal. Yusuf Zalal. Again, this is a really interesting fight. Listen, Quarantello, he obviously went against a better competition. He won against Damon Jackson. He lost to Edson Barboza. That's no shame. He won against Alexander and Hernandez. That's good win. He lost against Shane Burgos decision. He won against Benitez. And Joseph Zalal, he's coming back to the UFC after he was fighting in the regional scene. And he was in the UFC, but he lost all his UFC fights from as far as I can remember. I just think Billy Quarantello is going to win. He had 3 wins and 3 losses in the UFC, but he lost to Ilia Topuria, he lost to Sungwoo Choi, and he lost to Sean Woodson. The thing is, man, he lost to really good competition. Like, Topuria is a champion, Sungwoo Choi is good, Sean Woodson is really good, and he got a split decision with Woodson, and I really like Woodson's striking. So it's hard for me to pick this one because, man, his losses are good losses. And he won against Austin Lingo, he won against Jordan Griffin, Peter Barrett. I don't know, man. It's hard, especially as you get him here as the underdog. You know what? I'm gonna pick Zalal. I think he can win. And that's it. I'm picking Zalal as the underdog to win. Next fight, we got Peyton Talbott and Cameron Saaimon. I'm picking Talbott here. The only place I see Saaimon having an advantage here is the ground, his jiu-jitsu. The thing is, he's more of a defensive grappler than a offensive grappler. On the other side, Talbott, man, his striking is so good. I just feel something different about this kid. It's like the mentality is coming from, like, his style, his philosophy is just different. And that's something that I just can't fade, He's a favorite, which is a shame. I wish I could get him as the underdog. But, he's the favorite for a reason. Money is going on him. if it stays standing, I just don't see Talbott losing. And also, we saw in his fight against Reyes Cortez, which is a good fighter, like good wrestling, good striking. We saw that he can go 3 rounds, and he was just piecing up Reyes Cortez. And Saaimon, man, like, he lost to Christian Rodriguez, nothing to be ashamed of here. Christian Rodriguez is a dog and a really good fighter. But I just think that Talbott, man, he has the longer reach. He's the bigger person there, more physical. I don't see him losing. I'm picking Talbott to win here. That's my pick. Next fight, we got Carl Williams and Justin Tafa. Justin Tafa was supposed to fight before and got injured in his leg, and his brother replaced him. And Williams, man, his fight here is, he was supposed to fight his brother, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, man. This is a very hard fight. The thing about Tafa, he's very one-dimensional. You know, he's looking for that knockout. He obviously has the knockout power, very heavy hands. And I don't think that he could, like, I don't think that Carl Williams will be able to take down Tafa. But he might will. Like, he was never knocked out. Well, he never faced someone like Tafa. So it's gonna be a hard pick. I'm gonna go with the value. I'm gonna go with the underdog, with Justin Tafa to win by knockout. I'm probably not gonna bet here, but I'm picking Justin Tafa to win. And last fight, the main event, we got Amanda Ribas against Rose Namajunas. Rose is coming off of 2 losses. One for Carla Esparza, which was a really bad fight. Like, she was so low volume here. She looked better against Manon Fiorot. And she's going against Amanda Ribas. Amanda Ribas, like, she, some points in her fight against Luana, she looked like she was gonna lose. She came back and won by knockout. She's a dog, 100%. But man, Rose Namajunas, she's the better striker. She's the better striker. She has decent grappling. You know, she will be able to keep the fight standing. And I'm gonna pick Rose Namajunas to win, probably by knockout or decision. She's not gonna submit her. She can knock her out. I'm picking Namajunas to win. I think it's time for her to go back to the winning ways. So yeah, those are my picks for UFC Vegas 89, Ribas versus Namajunas. Let me know your opinion in the comments. Who is your favorite pick? Maybe you disagree with me in some of my picks. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.